Well, the morning mass, which was for the kids' mass, the school mass, I taught on that gospel about the house built on rock, house built on sand, and how if you do the works of Jesus, it's like building your house upon the rock. And so we talked about faith without works is useless as a screen door on a submarine. Anybody know that song? Do you know that song? Faith without works is as useless as a screen door on a submarine. Oh, you gotta Google it. It's a great song. It's a Rich Mullins song. Here's the guy who wrote Awesome God, Our God is an Awesome God. He also wrote the Screen Door song. And so it's a great, it's a little upbeat song, and we sang the song and we danced, with the kids. They were a little surprised to see the old priest try to dance. And I've never known how to dance, and now I've got a bum knee, so it's really bad, but I do my Cab Calloway imitation, and the kids got a kick out of it. But here in the daily mass, in the daily masses, I'd like to reflect on one of the other readings. And so today, let's talk just a moment about the psalm today, the 118th psalm. The 118th psalm is the final psalm of the Hallel. Now, the Hallel was the song that was traditionally sung at the end of the Passover Seder meal. And now remember in the Gospel of Mark, at the end of the Last Supper discourse, it says, singing a hymn, they went to the garden. Remember that? Singing a hymn, they went to a garden. Now, the hymn that they were singing would have been the Hallel that ends with this 118th psalm. And the 118th psalm begins, "Oh, give thanks to the Lord, for he is good. His love, his kindness, and his mercy endures forever." Now, if you were at the Thanksgiving Day Mass, and I think some of you may have been, I can't remember who goes in what masses, but on Thanksgiving Day, we talked about Jehoshaphat the king, king of Israel, king of Judah and Levi, who was faced with this coalition of 7 armies that were coming against him. And he was terrified because there was no way, he didn't have anywhere near enough manpower or provisions to survive this attack by these 7 armies. And so they prayed. They went to the temple and they prayed, and they said, "God, tell us what to do." And God spoke through a prophet, and he said, "Take the Levites," which is the choir, okay? Take the ones who are in the temple, who lead temple worship. It says, take the Levites, put them in front of the army, and march into battle singing this song. "Oh, give thanks to the Lord, for he is good. His love, his kindness, and his mercy endure forever." And so that's what they did. They got the army together, they put the Levites in front, and they marched into battle singing that song. The 7 armies, they hear this music, and it terrifies them. Who's coming to battle singing? And they get so confused and terrified, they start fighting amongst each other, and by the time Jehoshaphat and the army of Israel reached them, they had all killed each other. They were all dead. And all that was left was to receive the spoils. The power of the song of thanksgiving. So picture in your mind, Jesus has just finished the Last Supper, his Seder meal, his Passover meal with his disciples. He sent Judas away, knowing that Judas is going to go betray him. And so he goes to the Mount of Olives, to the Garden of Gethsemane, where they have their hideout cave. If you've ever been to the Garden of Gethsemane, this is fascinating. I didn't realize this until I was there. The disciples, Jesus and the disciples, had a hideout. And I thought that was odd, but remember, they were considered to be outlaws and brigands. They were considered to be rebels. And so they had a cave that they would hide out in. That's why they couldn't find Jesus and they needed Judas to betray. They needed Judas to lead them to the hideout. And so he takes his disciples to the very place he knows Judas is going to come. He knows he's about to be betrayed. And as he walks into the garden preparing to reverse the sin of Adam by praying complete and total obedience to his Father, he sings Psalm 118. Oh, give thanks to the Lord, for he is good. His love and his kindness and his mercy endure forever. But the psalm goes on. This is the day that the Lord has made. We will rejoice and be glad in it. The stone that the builders rejected has become the cornerstone, and it is marvelous in our eyes. The nations surrounded me like bees, but in the Lord's name I crushed them. This tremendous song of thanksgiving, but also of resurrection. Jesus spends his last moments with his disciples singing this beautiful song, Psalm 118. Oh, give thanks to the Lord, for he is good. His love, his kindness, and his mercy endure forever. Let's go to God now in prayer.